Alright, so let's see. Just before I do the intro, of course, since I'm doing all this crap live, I gotta check. Yeah, and you probably noticed wearing these fucked up glasses too, so. Alright. Okay, audio's good. Alright, so let's get this started. I already got one like. I think I know who it's from. But either way, hey guys, what's going on? This is your boy Joshua Williams here. So yeah. It's been a while since I've streamed for you guys. Crash Bandicoot says, hey Josh, hey, how you doing? Glad you're here. K Moore, the Sample Goat, I think that's your name, says, hey, how's it going? Northwestern Railway 66. Hey, how you doing? See, actually, I was actually about to message you on Facebook specifically saying I'm going to start streaming, so if you want to join in, blah, blah, blah. Emo Inuyasha says, hey, Josh. Hey, how you doing? Mind me, alright, I do still have a cough. I think I had a cough in the last stream, I don't remember, but, yeah, most likely. But I am still getting over a cough. It was going well, but for some reason, like, when I started, not when I started streaming, but before I started getting ready to stream, it starts up again. Like, the last 2 days, like, I wasn't coughing all that much, and now it's like, I don't know, it's crazy, so, if I'm coughing in the stream, you know why. So yeah, I just wanted to drop by and say, hey, how you doing? And that's the stream. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so hopefully you guys had a good New Year, by the way. And yeah, I'm just took like a cough drop, so hopefully that's all gone. But again, hopefully 2020 is well, I don't even know. Like 2020, to be honest, is kind of starting off as I don't know how to explain it. It's insane. In my personal life, it's same old, same old. Not much has really changed, to be honest, when it comes to my life in 2020 so far. I mean, this is only January. It just started, so there's really no way of telling whether anything's really changed all that drastically right now. I'm talking in terms of, say, in terms of, like, everyday crap that's going on. Like, with politics and the whole thing that's going on in the world and all that stuff. 2020, I don't even know what to say. It's already a shit fest. It's like, oh my god, it's insane. I mean, again, in my personal life, not much has changed. I do want certain things to change, admittedly. I am doing a lot more of these educational shows at the schools, at the elementary schools. I just did 2 of them today, so that's an easy $280 I just earned there, because it's $140 I gain each performance. And let me talk to you about that for a quick second. So today I had to go all the way in the valley, like about 35, almost 40 miles away from my house. So I basically drove for like almost an hour and a half. Actually close to 2 hours practically. No. It was basically about like an hour and a half or so. And because mind you, sometimes when I do these performances, these shows sometimes start at like 8:30 in the morning. Now, I had to get there at 8:30 in the morning today, and the show wasn't until 9. So obviously I was tired. I'm not really that much of a morning person. It's not easy for me to get up pretty early. Even if I get like my full, let's say, 7 hours of sleep, or maybe 8 hours of sleep, I'm not fully really all that much a morning person either way. Like, I'll still get up very drowsy and wanting to go back to sleep. I'll go back to sleep for like 5 and 10 minutes, which the thing is, they tell you not to do that. Like, oh, don't hit the snooze button. You wake up, get back up, and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, no, I wake up, I want to sleep some more. I'm going back to sleep to catch like a couple of more Z's. And so that's what I did essentially. But but yeah, so the show started at 9, and there's some shows I've had where I had to get at the school by like 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's all the way in the valley, so I have to take like the 405, and that is like one of the worst congested freeways, if not the worst congested freeway in South California. It's awful, absolutely awful. I mean, it gets better at a certain point, but there's like this huge section where it's just hugely congested. And then like after a certain point, that's the funny part. It's like after a certain area of the freeway where kind of like a lot of these interchangeable sections and whatnot, you have these. It's funny because you pass that area, and then the traffic frees up. Like on my way, I was going north, so the traffic freed up for me a little bit. But then you see people going southbound, and they're backed up all the way. So it's like, okay, I guess it's the interchangeable, or I don't know what you call it, where you get off the freeway, but you go into another freeway. I'm not sure what the actual term is for that, but yeah, it's yeah, but either way, going back to what I was talking about, the show. Um, so we did two shows today. Again, 140 each show, so that's 280 already. Um, and I got two more next week, so that's gonna be cool. It's tiring, trust me, when you do a show with like kindergartners and first graders, second graders. I mean, it all kind of depends, because here's the thing: when I did the first show today, first show was kindergartners and first graders. It could have been mostly kindergartners. I'm not quite sure. And I'm going to be right back. That's a little bit too bright. I'm going to turn that off. Kind of looks weird. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was just a little bit too bright. So, but either way. But yeah, like we did. It was probably mostly kindergartners. For the most part, maybe, I don't know. But to our surprise, because like all three of us who were doing the show, we were kind of dreading it because we were all so tired. Like one of the guy who plays the music in the show, he plays like a guitar and everything, and he also acts in it as well. He came from like India, I think maybe a couple of days ago, and he's been doing like a couple of shoots. Like he's been filming a couple of things, I think, and so he's barely gotten any sleep. So it's insane. It's insane, man. Like he was tired. I mean, he still managed to pull through and be able to do well in the show. That was good. He didn't get into any zombie mindset or anything like that. But it was still like he was still very, very, very tired. And so, like he was tired. The lady that was playing the wizard. And by the way, I'm not saying their names. I don't want to. I mean, it's not a big deal, but still, I'm not going to say their names. But just know it's a guy who plays a wizard, a girl who plays a wizard, and a guy who plays a music man. That's all you know. That's all you need to know. So we were all tired, and not only that, but me and Hirsch, we both still had a cough. So we were kind of like worried if our voices were going to mess up during that, like if we were gonna, you know what I mean, like we were worried if we were gonna lose our voice throughout the show. And unfortunately, I mean, she didn't particularly lose her voice, but when you perform in front of children, and of course it's at their school, and they're rowdy with their with their kids. They're all kids. What am I talking about? They're rowdy with their friends. We're like, because in the show, I mean, I've talked about this many times, but I kind of have to talk about this so whoever's watching, get a certain context of what I'm saying here. So in the show, we're always kind of like, we do some singing and we do like some silly crap, and we also kind of pick some kids from the audience to help us out with some of the activities or whatnot. Like, oh, they're gonna turn into water drops and we're gonna help the turbine spin and something like that, or you're gonna be parts of the blaze that makes the turbine spin, and you're gonna be all that kind of stuff. So, of course, when I go into the audience trying to say, okay, you can come up, and I'm always trying to choose kids that haven't been up, and sometimes it's not easy because they all look the same sometimes, especially when they all kind of wear somewhat similar clothing. Like there'll be a couple of kids that wear and it's kind of weird for some reason. Some elementary schools, half of the students, or maybe some students, wear uniforms, and then some of them just wear free dress, as they call it in school. It's weird. I don't get it. I used to do that in elementary school too, but it was so strange. But either way, like when I try to, or when I try to pick and choose which kid to come up on the come up with us on the performance, because we don't really perform on the school stage. We just perform on their floor, because because if you know any elementary school audience, I mean, well, at least in California, their auditoriums, like they'll have chairs obviously, but they'll have like this big empty space, like just a big floor. Then they'll have like some seats in the back, and then there's the stage. So we kind of perform in that area. So we, of course, bring the kids over to do certain activities and whatnot. Again, like be a snowman or do this. And, of course, you got all these kids that are like, me. Like they always want to get chosen to participate in these activities. So sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. And then when we pick all the kids, you hear some of them get disappointed, and then they're like, no, you didn't choose me this time. I think there was two kids that already went up. I chose them the first time, and then I didn't choose them the second time, and it sounded like they were about to cry, and I'm like, no, I wasn't gonna let them up again because they already went up, so I can't do that. But yeah, it was crazy. But either way, the point I'm trying to get across here is that with these kids, sometimes they're a lot more. They're loud. They talk a lot and everything, and it's kind of it's tough. So sometimes when we're doing the show, we have to try to either raise our voices to try to get their attention, like because the way it's structured sometimes is we do these activities, or we do, say, a song maybe. The kids, of course, start clapping and everything because we ask them. They'd be like, give these wonderful volunteers a round of applause and everything. So they clap and everything like that. But then they start kind of talking with themselves. But I mean, mainly they're talking about the show, like, that was funny, that was this or that, or they're like, hey, I want to go up next or something. And it's like, sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to raise our hands up and be like, shh. Or sometimes I just have to be like, now that I made it in time, like sometimes I have to. And here's the thing, the person who plays the water wizard, she's not as loud as I am, because I can be pretty loud. I think I've spent years being loud, so it's something I'm used to it. But like she can be loud, of course, and she she can project. I mean, this is kind of like a technique you have to learn as an actor anyway. If you're an actor, and especially if you're doing theater, stage acting, and whatnot, you got to be able to learn how to project. Which doesn't mean that you necessarily have to shout, but you still have to have your voice at least be loud enough in a way where, say, if you're in a small theater space with only 100 people, 100 seats, or maybe even 50 seats, even if the room's still not that big, you can't just speak as normally as you would. You kind of have to still project and understand, blah, blah, blah. You kind of have to, at the very least, so you can get some emotion out of what you're saying, and also so people can hear what you're saying. So, so that's what she has to do. But then sometimes throughout the show, usually around the end, she kind of starts to lose her voice to the point where she can still talk. She can still, it's not like she's losing her voice where it's like, oh, I can't. It's mainly that she can't raise her voice anymore. Now, thankfully, we have microphones with these. Well, actually, no, we only have one microphone because there is a scene where I do sing a song about being water-wise and everything. And this, mind you, this is in California where we had a big drought for the longest time. And I think technically we're still considered in a drought, but because of the rain we had, I think last year or 2 years ago, it's really, really helped. But either way, it's still important that we teach kids to conserve water and everything like that. But yeah, so usually, so I sing this song and whatnot, and I have like the microphone usually, which always helps. But we're trying to get some like lavalier, no, headset microphones, so at the very least we don't have to worry about yelling over the kids or trying to get their attention, because sometimes it kills time. Like it's I mean, we still have fun doing what we're doing, but doing a show, an educational show for kids, it's not easy, and sometimes it can be very, very taxing. It's like, oh my god, I'm tired. I am tired. I don't want to do this. I want to go home. It's like, it's funny. But again, at the same time, though, I can't necessarily complain because, like, I'm still getting paid at the end of the day, and the pay is pretty good, so I can't complain about that. But either way, yeah, like the two shows we did. The first show, I guess, as I said once before, was kindergarten and first grade, and it was good. Like the kids, surprisingly, again for kindergartner and first graders, they were actually very attentive. They were paying attention to the show. They weren't talking out as much. They were actually quiet, and it was a smaller group than the second show, might I add. But still, I was like, kindergartners are being quiet? That's weird. It's new. You'd think that the older kids, like the first graders, second graders, I think the oldest we do are like third graders, but even then that's kind of a stretch. We barely do those. But yeah, like it's you'd think they would be the ones that are kind of more quiet and know how to not perform, how to behave during like an assembly and whatnot. And sometimes that is the case. I mean, well, actually, a lot of times that is the case where you have like the older kids, like the second grade. If it's just a class full of second graders, you sometimes they're more cooperative and all that kind of stuff. The thing is, however, is that when it comes to say some of our special effects in the show, where I get turned into a water drop, or she takes like this huge snowflake and turns it into two. Like the kids are like so impressionable, like they actually believe it's real magic, and it's funny. And then there's sometimes when you got like the second graders, and they're like, "Oh, I know how they did that," and it's like, okay, So I mean, doing these shows are definitely interesting. It's fun, as I said, but it's interesting. I mean, it's because working with kids ain't easy. It's not easy, especially when you try to get them directions and say, "Hey, I want you to just stand over there," or I mean, obviously being as nice as you can, yada yada yada. And I got patience, obviously, because I'm still in character, and I'm not like, "Oh my god, these kids are done." No, but like sometimes I will like at the end we kind of have like maybe 12, no, not definitely not 12, probably like close to 20 kids up in there, because of like a big contraption we're trying to make. So I have to get like at least like 4 kids in the middle of the stage and have them like try to line up, like one on this side, two on this, two on that side, two on this side. And sometimes like they won't even know what I'm saying somehow. It's like, okay, I want you to stand over here, face this way, stand over there, because I don't want to touch these kids. I don't want to be like, okay, I'm gonna move you over here, move you over here. I mean, it's fine. Obviously, it's not inappropriate or some shit. But it's like I would rather not. You know what I mean? Like I would rather just be like, okay, I want you to stand over here. You stand over here. You understand that? So, but again, like like that's just me personally. But like, because yeah. But sometimes like you try to tell them where to go, and they're like, what? And so I kind of have no choice, but I have to move them over here, move them over there, and it's like, okay. But yeah, it's try to, it's interesting though. But like, yeah, again, working with kids not easy. Like, I would rather do this, however, than ever be a teacher. Like, I could not, especially for elementary school. I couldn't be a teacher, no way. And I think, but if you were to have me choose whether I'd be a high school teacher or an elementary school teacher, probably. I honestly, I would probably still say none. Be like, it's not worth it. it's not worth it, man. I mean, like, teachers do not get paid enough to have to deal with some snot-nosed kids every single day. I mean, if the classes that these teachers have are calm, where like the kids don't really act out that much. They pay attention. They're nice. Yada yada yada. Which you get those sometimes every now and then. You know, like yeah, obviously that's fine. Makes your job easier and blah blah blah. But then when you have like, you know, classes where everybody is just a total uh shithead. You know, that's elementary school, middle school, high school, and all that kind of stuff. It just makes the job much harder. But I don't know how they do it, but all I can say is they're not getting paid enough. That's all I can say. But yeah, so that was my day today. So the rest of the day kind of just got home, ate a Subway sandwich because I was hungry after that. And, you know, kind of just sat around and did nothing. Because this week has kind of been very eventful-ish. Well, not really. I mean, in a way, yes, because yesterday, Wednesday, I also went to a game show, The Price is Right. Watch that almost every morning. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a long process because you got to get registered, and then you got to like you got to give them your ID to clarify who you are and everything like that. You got to sign some papers, which you barely sign anything. Got to take a photo, like souvenir photo, or kind of a photo to really identify, like to clarify that this is the person on the ID card. And then you kind of wait for maybe an hour or two or something. Then you go into the studio, and then you eventually watch the game unfold, or you possibly get picked to play the game and whatnot. And you know, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's my 6th time being at that show, and I do it again. It's fun. When I did it last week, it was their Grammys award special week. So I don't think the episode, unfortunately, is going to air tomorrow on CBS because shit. Because of the whole impeachment crap that's going on. So that's gonna suck. I mean, it's gonna be available on like the CBS Access.com or whatever. But either way, like, you know, it sucks. But either way, like the show that I went to last week with the Grammys and everything, it was with Meghan Trainor. So that was cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Meghan Trainor, of course, but like, not to say I don't like her songs or anything. Like, I'm just not the biggest fan. You know, like I don't listen to a lot of her songs, but you know, it was cool. It was cool to be able to see her, and she was nice. She was nice. I mean, like, not that she particularly talked with. I mean, she waved at us a lot, and sometimes somebody would scream out, be like, "I love you, Kelly." I was like Kelly Clarkson. Christ, that kind of probably would have been better than Meghan Trainor, to be honest. But either way, but you know, they were like, "We love you, Meghan Trainor." She's like, "Yeah, I love you too." You know, she was really nice. So she, you know, that was cool. And again, that was also a fun show as well. Again, I'm not sure if that episode's gonna air tomorrow because of the impeachment shit. But even if it does air, that'll be cool because I'll have a moment in the spotlight on TV. Not really. I'll just be shown on television because I appear a couple of times on the camera. Yeah. So. Oh, and also last week I went to a Clippers game, so that was fun. And that was very exciting for me as well because like I haven't been to a basketball game, like a national, well, you know, the NBA basketball game. I haven't been to one of those in like a long time, probably about like 10 years. Yeah, I think it actually was about like 10 years since I've been to an NBA game, and it was 10 years since I've been to the Staples Center as well. The last time I went there was for a Glee concert that my brother decided to take me to, which admittedly was cool, but I don't think I ever want to do concerts like that again. Because, jeez, I remember there was like this group that's within the show Glee called like the Warblers or something, I guess. It's like an all-boys school, and they have like a Glee club or something, or Glee chorus. When they came out to perform, all the girls just went nuts. Like, the screaming was loud already, which was tolerable. But then when those boys came out to sing, and like, all the girls just started screaming, it was like, oh my god, this is awful. Like, it was so freaking loud. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do these again. Like, Take me to a concert at the Hollywood Bowl. Like, at least it's out in the open where if you're screaming a lot, it doesn't sound too terrible. Or at least I haven't dealt with that at the Hollywood Bowl yet. But that was like, no. I mean, the show was good, but the screaming, I was like, I hate it. It's like, it was way too loud. I probably could tolerate it now. I don't know. But like, it was like, nope. Crazy. No one can ever drag me to a BTS concert. That will never happen. Because, not to say I don't like BTS, even though I personally don't care about them. I don't care about K-pop. It's just not my thing. But knowing how crazy girls go over BTS, if I were to ever go to a BTS concert, like if I ever had a girlfriend or if I ever had a friend that dragged me to a BTS concert, that would be the death of my ears. I know it would be the death of my ears, unless I wear like earbuds or something. That's probably something I would try to invest in if I were to go to one of these concerts. Because again, the screaming is freaking ridiculous. But either way, yeah. But I went to a Clipper game last week, which was a lot of fun. Supposedly, I also won a trip to Orlando, so that's cool. I don't know if it's really legitimate because, like, when you go to some of these football games or basketball games and whatnot, sometimes they'll have you like you'll get like maybe a raffle ticket or something, and they'll have like these digital screens where you can like type in your information, and you kind of technically play like a little game on there, and sometimes they'll say you can win a prize or you win nothing or you win some money and whatnot, and sometimes it'll be a trip or it'll be again money, and so sometimes like that it's you kind of have those things. So that's a game that I played, and I kind of like spun the wheel, and it slowly landed on Orlando. I was like, what? And it said, congratulations, you won a trip to Orlando, Florida. You will be contacted by us within 2 weeks or something. And I was like, holy shit, I won a trip to Orlando? That's awesome. Now, again, I don't know if this is legit. I mean, it probably is legitimate, but like, it wouldn't surprise me if I were to like say, if I were to be contacted and say, hey, yeah, I'd like to claim my trip to Orlando. And then they were like, okay, that's great. So let's get some other offers here. So if you do this task and if you do this task, you can get, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's going to be the situation or if I mean, I'll look into it. I'm not really expecting to actually have won a legitimate trip to Orlando. I don't know. But like, that's kind of where I'm at there. But like, all I can say is we'll see. But yeah, if it were true, I would definitely go back to Orlando because it's been such a long time since I've been to Orlando. It's been 10 years since I've been to Orlando. I took my godbrother. That was the last time I went to Orlando, and we went to SeaWorld. Still never been to Universal in Orlando. So I would love to be able to go there. But I took my godbrother. We went to SeaWorld Orlando, and he liked it. And then we went to Epcot in Disney World and Animal Kingdom. And he got lost in Animal Kingdom. This is what happened. So after we finished watching the parade, actually, let me explain this a little bit better. So before the parade, me, Mom, and him, we all went to see Finding Nemo the musical in the park of Animal Kingdom. Now, I know that sounds crazy. Finding Nemo musical. I know that sounds insane. Probably. I don't know if it really sounds insane to you. But it's actually really, really well done. Like, I think if they were to extend that production and put it on Broadway, it probably would be a hit. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But, like, I think, like, the way they do the puppets and the songs and the scenery, it's really good. So if you ever go to Orlando and you go to Animal Kingdom, and especially if you like Finding Nemo, if you don't like Finding Nemo, you probably shouldn't see it because you most likely won't like it. But if you do like the movie Finding Nemo, then definitely try to go and actually see the Finding Nemo musical. It's only like 40 minutes long, but it's worth it. It's really a good show. I would love to be in that show one day. And they've been going for like almost 15 years. So Lord knows if they have many more years to stay open or what? If they could replace Frozen the musical with California Adventure with Finding Nemo the musical from Animal Kingdom, I would be all for it. I would be all for that. 100%. But anyway, continuing back to what I was saying. Yeah, so we saw the show and then we went we went, I think it was probably somewhere near the entrance of the park, but definitely I think in front of the Tree of Life. Because if you go into Animal Kingdom, you'll see like this ginormous tree, which has like all these carvings of animals in it and everything like that. It's really cool. It's a pretty cool icon for that park. And by the way, that park is very, very beautiful. It has a lot of greens, has a lot of different exotic plants and everything like that. The way they done the theming to that park was stunning, beautiful. But yeah, I'd love to go to Avatar Land. Even though I'm not really a big fan of the movie, like I've seen it, don't really remember all that much from it to be honest. But I would still love to be able to go to the land because for me, I don't need to really be a fan of something in order to actually like appreciate, say, like a themed land or a themed uh, ride or whatever. Like, say for example, Star Wars. I went to Disneyland like about a month ago. Yep, about a month ago. Well, it'll be a month ago, 2 days from now. But either way, on the 26th of December, which was basically a day after Christmas. And it wasn't crowded. It was great. I mean, okay, it was crowded, but by Disney standards, it was low. So it was great, and everything just worked perfectly. It was like probably one of the best times I've been to Disneyland. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, um, I went to Disneyland that day, and we went to Galaxy's Edge. And I thought the land was cool. I liked it. You know, walked around and I was like, wow, this is really impressive. I didn't need to be a Star Wars fan to appreciate it or to really enjoy being in the land. It was just, I just enjoyed the land. It was great. Like if I go to Universal Studios in Orlando or in Florida, or Orlando or in Florida, Orlando or in Hollywood, and I visit Harry Potter, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I may not be a fan of Harry Potter because it's personally just not my thing. Same with Star Wars, personally not my thing, just not my genre. It wouldn't matter to me. I would still love to be immersed in that world. Still would love to be able to walk around, look at all the details, and feel like I'm in a different world or feel like I've been, transported to another land, I guess. You know what I mean? So that's kind of all I need. So yeah. So, but anyway, been rambling for a while, but let's get to it. And I'll get to your comments in a couple of minutes, or well, yeah, probably in a couple of minutes. I don't know if there's really anything else I want to mention at this point. After this, maybe. But so we see the show, and then we go like to I guess in front of the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom, and they start their parade because of course every Disney park practically well, the only Disney park I think that doesn't have a parade at Disney World is probably Epcot. I've never seen a parade at Epcot. Maybe they have a parade somewhere, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. They have one, obviously, in Magic Kingdom. They got one at the Hollywood Studios, and they got one at Animal Kingdom. Epcot, I think, is the only one that doesn't particularly have a parade. I think they used to, but and that place is going through a massive overhaul. It's insane. But yeah, so we watch the parade. So when the parade finishes, I tell Mom I'm going to go into the gift shop because I was going to look for a couple of things. And so I leave the gift shop, and my godbrother Logan wasn't there. Wasn't with Mom. He also went into the gift shop too, but then he left the gift shop apparently and went all the way across the park. So me and Mom were looking for him. We were like, where did he go? And and people knew who we were talking about. They knew like we were talking about this tall kid who kind of walks funny. So I mean, we didn't say that, but they just knew who we were looking for, which was interesting. But when we found him, he was like at a character meet and greet for like Winnie the Pooh characters. And when he eventually came up to us, of course we asked him where did he go, And he said, well, I went all the way back to Finding Nemo the musical because I assumed that's where you went, Josh. So he assumed that I left the parade, left mom and him, and went all the way back to see Finding Nemo the musical without their permission. Yes, was I a young kid? Kinda. Yeah, I was. Actually, I was 13. I was 13? Shit. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, well, 13, 14. Yeah, because that was 10 years ago. Damn. Okay. Or no, wait. No, I don't think so. I was either 12 or 13. Either way, I was 12, 13, or 14. I don't know. Because technically you could say it was over a year, 10 or 11 years ago, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so it was like in 2010. But either way, I was younger. I was in middle school at that time. But even so, I knew better than to just walk away from mom in a theme park. It's like, I don't do that. You do that, but I don't do that. And he still does it. Like, the last time me and mom took him to Disneyland as a surprise, which was 3, 4, 5 years ago, I think it's like probably about 5 years ago. The dude wanders off twice. He just walked off twice. Me and mom got on a ride. He didn't want to get on the ride because he's not really a thrill seeker. He's scared of a lot of things. But we get off a ride and we're looking for him because we told him, wait for us, or you can get on a ride that you may want to get on or whatever, but meet us over here. So we knew his ride would have been finished with. Mine was finished at the same time. Hers was finished at the same time. So we all meet up at this one location in front of Pirates of the Caribbean, and we were looking for him. And so I think we texted him or something, and then he said, "I just wandered off. I'm in Fantasyland." I'm like, "Why are you in Fantasyland?" And he's like, "Oh, this is the chance for me to be at Disneyland all by myself." And we were both kind of irritated by that. We were like, "You're not gonna do that with us, no." So we had to find him. We brought him, and so we were like, "Okay, we got him. That's cool." And so we ended up getting on another ride that he didn't want to get on. And we said, "Okay, there's another ride that you can get on if you want to. Fine, you can do that." So we tell him to meet us at another. We were at Tomorrowland, I think. So tell us, yeah. So to meet us in Tomorrowland in front of Star Tours or Buzz Lightyear, one of those rides, I think. And he wasn't there. He went back to Fantasyland, wandering off by himself. And when we eventually got to him again, my mom had to threaten him. And when I say threaten him, she had to say, "Okay, if you walk off on us one more time, I am going to drive you back to your friend's house or someplace, and we're going to come back. Me and Josh are going to come back and go enjoy Disneyland without you." That's what she said. And he said, "Okay, I'll stay." So yeah, so it was interesting, but yeah. So, but I mean, it was still a fun trip and still a fun time though, but going to these places with Logan is sometimes it's not easy. So, which is why when the last time we went to Disneyland, we just let him go off and do whatever he wanted to do. He spent the entire day alone, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather hang out with the rest of the family and then spend some time with myself at Disneyland doing what I want to do instead of hanging out with him all day." So it was like, yeah. So I was kind of like, "Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do." And so, yeah. So, is there really anything else to talk about? Not. Well, actually, yeah. Let me talk about a couple of things in terms of this channel. Mainly as to why I've been gone, because I haven't made a video in over a month. I know! I've said that I wasn't going to do that anymore, but here I am, not making a video for about a month, or maybe more than a month. And, been gone for a while. So it has been legitimately somewhat difficult for me to be able to squeeze in time to actually film a video, if I gotta be honest. Because it has been somewhat kind of busy. for the past couple of, or for the past month, I'd say. I mean, it is weird because there's some, weeks where I say when I'm busy, it's not like I'm packed to the brim with stuff, but it's still enough to where it's like, oh, if I do this, I'm gonna be tired. I don't want to do it anymore, or I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be occupied for the rest of the night. I'm gonna be occupied for the day. Stuff like that. So it was legitimate. It wasn't me being lazy, even though I think that partially is still true. But it was, me not really finding the greatest times to try to record a video, especially since I'm down here in the kitchen, well, in the dining room or whatever, making these videos now. If I was making a video in my own room, it probably would be a different situation. But you know, that's that is what it is. But yeah, there's that one reason. Second reason, I mean, it's nothing new, but I've been struggling to figure out what kind of videos I want to make. Now, I know some of you guys are probably going to be like, well, wait, what about the Reddit thread videos? Why aren't you making those anymore? I'm still going to be making those, don't get me wrong. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make a video where I was doing like a review first on a cartoon or a show or something. Wanted to do that first and then possibly do a Reddit thread video. I didn't want that to be the first video I end up making. It might have to go that route. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's not. I mean, I'm kind of talking as if like, oh, I don't want to do these videos anymore. No, I do legitimately enjoy making these videos. It's just a matter if you guys also enjoy those videos. Like, I can enjoy making those videos all I want, but if you guys hate them, then there's no point that I like making those videos, So I kind of want to continue to do these reviews and stuff like that. But sometimes it's kind of tough for me to do it. And here's another example. I was honestly going to make a video about Infinity Train. I was going to do that the last time, and I was going to do that this time. And technically, I still could make a video on Infinity Train, but the thing that sucks about it is that it would be too late. Because Infinity Train came out like, what, 2-3 weeks ago? Almost a month ago, I think? And so I'm like way behind. So it's like, everybody else has already made a video about it. I'm going to make a video about it, and it's not really going to add anything. So even though I shouldn't really care about that at the end of the day, because I'm not a trendsetter, even though I never was, never would be. And I'm not, I'm not available all the time to make videos, so I wouldn't be able to, like, say, look at something and be like, oh, God, this is cool, okay, write a script, let's record, edit, yada, yada, yada. Like, it's not, it's not something I can currently do. So, there's that. So, that's kind of an explanation as to why I've been gone for a while. So I don't know when my next video will be in particular, but hopefully I can come out with another video maybe within the next 2 weeks or something. I really don't know. I could do it next week maybe, so I might have to try to talk with my editor and see when he can edit, and I don't know. It depends. It really depends. But speaking of Infinity Train, let's talk about that for a little bit. In fact, actually, if anyone in the chat wants to talk about Infinity Train Season 2, you can go ahead. But don't spoil anything. I don't want there to be spoilers. And then I might just say, fuck it. Spoil away. I don't know. But yeah, because I kind of do want to have like a conversation. I don't want to just like talk about the Season 2 of Infinity Train because I can't. I don't know if I have a crap ton of thoughts on it, to be honest. I don't know. Fun fact: I again missed the first 2 episodes. Like I missed the first 2 episodes, and I kind of just dropped in the second day of their airing. So that was definitely interesting. But yeah. First of all, I think Infinity Train Season 2 was pretty freaking cool. It was nice. It was like I You could ask me if I thought that it was better than the first season or whatnot, or if I thought the first season was better. I can't really say much about that because like there's not really much that I memorize, and this is not me saying that the show's unmemorable because it's not. It's just that I haven't, since they barely air it, obviously, I haven't really watched season one again, and haven't been watching a lot of season two again. So because they don't really air it every single day, or they don't air it nowadays, or I mean now and then and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, I could find it online, but I just, you know what I mean. Um, excuse me. Oh, yeah, I'm getting tired. But yeah, like it was interesting with season two because it focused on and hold on a second. Northwestern Railway says, I don't know how that would be possible to talk about the second season without spoiling anything, so I'm going to stay quiet. Good point. All I will say, however, is that it was definitely interesting that they decided to follow the journey of Mirror Tulip, and it is honestly kind of smart because like we got some time with her in one of the episodes in season one, and there was this whole thing about her saying, "Oh, I want to live my own life, I want to do my own thing, and yada yada yada. So I'm not going to be a reflection of you anymore." And all that stuff. And so it makes sense, and it is smart that they decided to kind of follow her, I guess, in the second book, as they call it. Or not second book, second chapter. So it makes sense, and it's cool that that's what they did. Also, and it technically kind of keeps Tulip in the show as well. Cause like we all saw Tulip in the pilot and everything, so we thought the show was gonna be about her. We didn't know it was gonna be like a mini series where it's like, oh, there's one this year and oh, there's one next year, and it's gonna be different characters. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So I don't know, but like, yeah, it's cool that they were able to do that, and the character, Jesse, yes, I think that's his name. Jesse, he was also pretty cool too. I'll admit that when I saw the trailers for the season two, I wasn't all that excited. I think because like when I first saw Jesse, I was like, I'm not quite sure if he's gonna be interesting to me or whatnot. I mean, I don't know. It was strange. Like that was just something I was thinking about when I was looking at the trailers. But I was wrong. I was wrong. He was not. He was not an annoying character. He was a well-developed character and learning certain things and yada yada yada. So it was good. It was good. The only thing I will say is if you guys remember how somewhat dark the well, not somewhat dark, how dark the show got in like basically the last 2 days, technically the last three, well, let's see, you got day four, right, and they aired 2 episodes, and the last episode of day four is the darker episode. It goes that route again, of course. I mean, they should, of course, but it does get dark, which is always a huge surprise when you see a show like that on Nickelodeon or say a Cartoon Network or Disney XD, and how brutal they can be sometimes. I haven't seen it on Nick Jr. I haven't seen it on Nickelodeon, but I've seen it on Disney Channel with Gravity Falls. Some of the imagery is like, damn, this is for kids. So it's the same with Cartoon Network, and I mean, especially considering with Cartoon Network, you don't see a lot of those dark shows on Cartoon Network. So Infinity Train is definitely like a new what am I trying to say? It's a I don't know. Well, you get what I'm saying. It's basically another turning point or something. I don't know. There's a certain expression I want to say, but it's not coming up right now. But either way, you get what I'm saying. It's new, and it's it's all that. So but the ending is definitely very satisfying. I wouldn't say it's unexpected, but actually, in a way, it is an unexpected ending because you'd think, oh, this is impossible. They can't do this, yada, yada, yada. How is that possible? But they find a way. That's the only thing I can say. They find a way. I don't know if that was actually a spoiler or not. It probably wasn't. I mean, I was being as vague as I possibly could. But yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I don't know. I probably did spoil it for you. Okay, screw it. I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. And the North and West Railway 6 says, yeah, it does differ from the first season, so it wouldn't become repetitive. Yeah, which is good. It's definitely good that they didn't make the series feel repetitive. So that's definitely good. I think that was somewhat my worry because when it came to when the first book, I mean, it's not book, when the first chapter finished, when I saw the okay, I keep thinking someone's messaging me now. But when it came to the second, no, the last episode, and they announced, oh, a book, second book's gonna be coming at the end. They didn't do that for this one, which was surprising. Which means that maybe there's not going to be a third chapter, or there probably will be a third chapter. They're just going to announce it later on. But it was interesting because like when I first saw that they were gonna have a second season, I was like, okay, that's awesome, very excited for it. But then I started thinking like, well, what exactly are they gonna do with the second season? Because we know that there's a kid or anybody that goes on the train and they're trying to, understand their problems or learn a certain lesson or whatnot. Basically to try to get out of the train. And, that kind of fixes their normal lives. They become better people after this, and or they don't blame themselves for what's happening, or they don't stuff like that. So I was wondering, so is it technically going to be the same story? We already found out who the conductor of the train truly is, so there's no way of, finding that out now. I mean, not finding that out now. There's no way of like trying to bring it back in and try to be like, oh, we got another conductor, or it's another this or another that. Like we found out who created the damn thing in the first season. So so it's good that they changed it up, changed the story, and gave us some new stories and new twists in the show as well. So it didn't become stale, wasn't the same thing. So it was definitely good. I think there was something else I wanted to mention with Infinity Train. I don't remember. To be honest, I don't remember. Well, actually, yeah, it was just the thing where like I kind of want to understand what really is Infinity Train. There's something I would like to mention, but I'm not going to because it's not a major spoiler. It's kind of a minor spoiler, I guess. Kind of shows you how I'll just say it, how the Infinity Train works. That's the only thing I can say. But I, kind of just want to know, like, how, if they do a third book, third chapter. I keep saying book. If they do a third chapter, I wonder if they're going to delve into that. Because, yeah, it would be interesting to see, like, how do people actually get to Infinity Train? Are they knocked out? Are they awake? Do they walk through something that knocks them out or something? Like, you never know. So I don't know, but either way, if we are getting a third chapter of Green Eggs and Ham, Christ, wow, I am way off. I'll get to that though in a second. But if we get, I should probably go to sleep in a couple of hours. Oh my god, just said Green Eggs and Ham. I'll get to that though. But when we get a third chapter of Infinity Train, that I will be excited either way. Because the first season didn't disappoint, second season didn't disappoint, and I'm sure the third season, hopefully, doesn't disappoint. So, yeah. But let's talk about Green Eggs and Ham, I guess, because it just comes out of my mouth. It's so weird. So they did announce, which I think I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the last stream. Whether I did, if I did, I don't know. Either way, I'll say it again. But yeah, they're coming out with a second season of Green Eggs and Ham on Netflix, and I'm definitely excited about that. Because again, first season was just great. It just took so much that you just thought was gonna happen, and it completely kind of like changes certain things like near the end of the series. But not only that though, but just the way they were able to do the world and make everything that was in the book of Green Eggs and Ham and change into like this its own adventure somehow, or characters and whatnot. It was just clever, absolutely clever. So them doing a second season, I'm really excited for that because what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do for the second season? Like, I mean, obviously, oh, I was about to say, oh, obviously they're gonna do this, but I can't tell you because I don't want to spoil that because I don't know how many of you guys have seen Green Eggs and Ham on Netflix. If you have Netflix, I don't know how many of you guys have seen it. Northwestern Railway. If you're 6'6", if you're still here, I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it yet, but please tell me that you're gonna see it soon because you kind of have to see this. So at least we can talk about it because like I don't really have anyone to talk about Green Eggs and Ham with, which kind of sucks. But you know, like I kind of just want to not vent out because that definitely isn't the right terminology for this. But I definitely just kind of want to discuss, you know, about like, oh, this happened and then this happened and there's like blah blah blah, you know. So it's yeah, but either way, season 2. I don't know when it's gonna come out. Hopefully, it comes out sooner than later. Because again, I'm excited and maybe the day that it comes out, I'm gonna binge watch the entire freaking season, dude. Like, because I mean, that's practically what I did when it came to the first season. Like, I was gonna because I decided to go on Netflix because there was nothing on TV that I wanted to watch, and I was like, okay, I'll check out Green Eggs and Ham because I've heard a couple of good things from it. About it from certain people, and I saw the trailer once before, the full trailer, and I was like, okay, that looks very interesting. So it looks really cool, and yada yada yada, and I looked at the animation, and yada yada yada, so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And so I just ended up watching, like, all the episodes in one day, which took me, like, probably 6 hours to do, which was so funny, but it was worth it. It was worth it. It was just that good that I couldn't be like, okay, episode 5, or not episode 5, let's just say episode 3 is done. Okay, I've done 3 episodes. I'm going to do 3 more tomorrow, and yada, yada, yada. I just couldn't stop it. I was like, no, because the way that they ended most of these episodes, like, it kind of just left you wanting more. You know, you're like, okay, what's going to happen next? What other revelations are we going to find out, or something like that? You know what I mean? So, it just pulled you in that well. And so I'm sure the second season, as they're calling it, the second serving, is gonna. I'm sure that's gonna happen. But yeah, I just love that show, man. It's if you haven't seen it, and if you have Netflix, you have to see Green Eggs and Ham. I am not kidding you when I say that. It is really an amazing show, and that's all I can say. If you choose not to watch it, that's your loss. That's all I can say. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, if you can watch the show, highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So let's get to a couple of these comments. I'm going to get to the lower comments first, because they were replying to what I was saying. Well, actually just one, technically. Northwestern Railway says, nah, but I will soon. Can never get around to it. If you have, again, as I said, if you have 6 hours to spare, go ahead. Like, if you have, like, literally 6 hours to spare, try to watch it. Or if you can't binge watch the series, then at least, like, maybe do an episode a day or something, or maybe try to do one episode one day, and if you can, try to go to the second episode whenever you can, or something like that. Yeah, just, you know, do whatever you can. Do it at your own speed, I guess. Just warning you, though, that the episodes are 30 minutes long, which is a blessing, in a way, because it gives us a whole lot more. Because if it was on television, it would be a lot shorter. It wouldn't be 30 minutes. It would be 24 minutes or so, or 20 minutes or whatever, because, you know, you got the commercial breaks and all that. So, but yeah, so, like, if you can, 100%, if you can, try to watch as much as you can. But again, 30 minutes, 30 minutes each episode. So, you know, I don't know. That's all I can say. Not gonna spoil anything. So it's yeah. Anyway, let's get to some of these comments here. So Emo Inuyasha at first says, well, I'm doing a bit of a Family Feud survey for the game show party I'm having. the day before my birthday. Tough part is that both questions have to be about me. All questions have to. Oh wow. Also, I guess I get it. So like you're doing you're gonna be playing Family Feud for your you said before your birthday, so you're gonna be doing. Oh, that's cool. I kind of want to go to an airing of that show and possibly try to get on that show too. I don't have a well, we do kind of have a big family, but you know they all live like elsewhere, so it wouldn't excuse me, it wouldn't necessarily really be that easy, but you know, me just being there would be fine. Like even when me with me going to the Price is Right, even if I don't get up as a contestant, just being there is fun. You know, especially since I also like watching the behind the scenes aspects of things like television shows and movies and Broadway shows and whatnot. You know, it's just something that interests me. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's that situation. So it's cool, but yeah, and especially to be able to see Steve Harvey live and whatnot, it would be pretty fun as well. Uh, any? Oh yeah. K Moore the Sample Goat says, "Hey Josh, do you plan on seeing any new cartoon movies in 2020? If you mean any new animated movies in 2020, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I haven't been going to the movies a lot. In fact, I can clarify it's been about 2 years since I've been to a movie theater. Almost about 2 years since I've been to a movie theater, actually. And I don't know why I kind of want to keep it that way. It's weird. Like, I mean, I don't know. I must not be a movies person that much anymore. I don't know. It's strange. But yeah, I'm not particularly planning on seeing any movies. I don't know if there's even Sonic. Like I could say that I'm interested to see Sonic, but like I most likely won't go to the movies for it. I don't know. Like it could be a good movie, and then it could be like a subpar movie. You never know. But it's not. You know, it's not for those reasons. It's just I'm just not a movie theater goer. A movie goer. And I don't know. But and also I don't know a lot of the animated movies that'll be coming out this year either, so that doesn't help. So I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure what other animated films are coming out this year. So there could be probably a couple of them that are coming out that I would have some interest in watching. But again, I don't know. Hopefully, we have some good ones. Oh yeah, well, there's Onward from Pixar. I don't know if I'm really all that interested in that one. Like, to be honest. Oh, and then there's does Soul come out this year? Or is that next year? I don't know if that's this year or next year, to be honest. And even then, that's a movie I'm not really all that interested in watching either. But you know, you never know. You never know. Again, I'm not a big movie watcher that much anymore, but yeah, we'll see. That's all I can say. Let's see what else here. Northwestern Railway 66. This is a reply of me talking about 2020. He says, "Hey, it's the same shit. Years are only a number. People will forever be morons." True. That's true. Man, I mean, I do hope, however, because again, when I was, I think in high school or somewhere, yeah, I think probably freshman high school, or I think I started realizing just how dumb people were, which was around like 2012. I think that was my freshman year. No, I started. Yeah, so actually, I started in 2011. Right? Yeah. I started in 2011, went to 2012. Yeah, because freshman year I did go on that cruise, and that was where I went to celebrate a New Year's. Yeah, I celebrated the New Year on the cruise, and it was 2012. Yeah, so it was definitely 2011 that I went on that cruise. But yeah, it was definitely around 2011 when I was getting into high school, when I just started realizing how dumb people are, or I started noticing people getting dumber and dumber. And so I felt as though the 2010s were kind of like the start of people just getting more idiotic. Now, that could just be me. Maybe it was happening like a couple of years earlier than that. I don't know. But for me, 2020 was just like the start of people just getting so dumb. It was ridiculous. So because of that, I'm hoping that 2020 changes that somehow. It may not be instant, but like maybe sometime next year people get more intelligent, or maybe sometime this year people are less. I really don't know. That's just wishful thinking at this point. But yeah, like that's kind of where I am when it comes to that. But yeah, it's true. Like things may not change. Most likely they won't change. I mean, this whole situation with like the with politics and everything like that. Like we were all afraid we were gonna go into World War III and be drafted because of the whole like tensions that were going on, which seems to be gone now, which is good. But then you got the whole impeachment crap that's going on too, which I personally do not give a shit about. Like they're airing it on TV, and I'm like, nah, I just want to watch my game shows, guys. I want to watch Let's Make a Deal, Price is Right. I don't want to watch this crap, and I don't care. I literally don't care whether he gets. I mean, he already is impeached, but whether he gets kicked out of the house or if he doesn't, I don't care. I just don't care. Like there's things I'm already worrying about in my life right now that I just and that could sound somewhat privileged or something. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's just not something I really care about, to be honest. But yeah, I do hope, at least when it comes to 2020, that certain things change for the better. I hope that like SJW slowly start to die off. Not literally, obviously, because I don't really wish for a lot of people to die, except if you're like horrible people, like you're a monster and whatnot. Then yeah, die. But hopefully like people start coming to their senses now. But you never know. It may not happen. It may not happen for another while. I really don't know. But hopefully the 2020s are better in terms of that. And so, yeah. Anyway, Northwestern Railway 66 says also, and off topic, Johnny Test is actually coming back. Yeah, see, I saw like a video last year where they were talking about Johnny Test is back and everything. It was showing like the silhouettes of the characters. And so that was all we heard from it. I don't know if there's like any other like pieces of news that's coming back from Johnny Test or something, sharing like, hey, so it's coming back in this month. That's what I'm looking for right now. Nope, I'm not finding anything when it comes to that. I mean, yeah, it was confirmed, but like, I mean, maybe it could be possible. It could be possible that they're working on it. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know. I don't, because again, that's the only thing. Like I heard, oh, there was an update on Nintendo sharing it on Twitter. Okay, so I'm going to look that up right now. Nintendo, Nintendo on Twitter. There we go. Because I haven't seen it anywhere else. Let's take a look here. Oh, Christ. Oh, oh my God. Okay, let me read this. Johnny Test is back. We're working on a brand new revamp of the hit series. Hit series. Guys. Oh my God. At our Vancouver studios, and we want you to join us. Johnny Test is looking for harmony builders that like big laughs, hilarious cartoon action, and total mayhem. So they're looking for people to actually work on the show Johnny Test. And if that's what he's gonna look like, that's gonna be laughable because he looks weird. He looks weird because I mean we're all used to, I mean, I don't know. Now, if they somehow manage to make Johnny Test better, if they manage to make this series better than the previous series, then by all means, fine. I mean, but yeah, so that's I don't know. That's interesting. That's definitely very, very interesting. That's the only thing I can really say when it comes to it. But again, it's strange because like we just haven't seen anything come out except for that video like a year ago. Now all of a sudden they're looking for people to work on the show. So I mean, I guess maybe like artists or writers or something. Like I seriously have like I got no clue. I got no flipping clue to be honest. So we'll see. Uh, let's get back to the not questions, but the oh crap. I mean, I'll get to this later because I was talking, I was talking about Disney parks for a while, and I was talking about Galaxy's Edge, but I will mention one other thing, which will be Rise of the Resistance ride. Not that I got on it, by the way, because I haven't been on been at Disneyland ever since it, the last time I went, which was when it was closed. But either way, I'll talk about that. Anyway, continuing on. So Emo Indiana just says Orlando, sounds cool. Yes, yeah. I'll be happy to visit Orlando again. And then we already read about this. Oh yeah, Claude Coringa says thoughts on the Owl House. Haven't seen it yet. I was occupied with was it Infinity? Well, actually, I think it started to air when Infinity Train finished its season. I think, and I wasn't even aware that it started airing that day. So, I'm definitely behind. So, I don't know if I'm gonna try to catch up, but I might try to watch the series. That depends. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Continuing here. Claude Green says, "What would you think of the idea of a Broadway musical based off the cartoon Phineas and Ferb?" I don't know if that would work. I don't know. I mean, like the music, the movie's already pretty like musical and whatnot, but I'm not quite sure if that would be the best idea. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know. Okay. Let's see. That's the only thing I can say. It's, I don't know. It would be weird. Like they managed to make SpongeBob work, right? Which is great. But Phineas and I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. Like that's all I can say. I don't know if that would even be able to work. Like that's the only thing I can say right now. That's yeah. Chris says, "What animated series are you the most excited to check out?" I think I've told you already. But the second season of Green Eggs and Ham. I mean, I don't know what else is coming out that's going to be on like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or, well, there is It's Pony, but that's not really calling out to me. It looks weird, so I don't. I might try to check it out, but it's not really calling to me. And the Owl House, admittedly, isn't really calling to me all that much either. I'm not quite sure when it comes to that, but I might try to watch that at some point too. It's Pony, I might get to that at some point. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. But the anime series I'm most excited, second season of Green Eggs and Ham. That's all I can say. Northwestern Railway says, which is why I don't watch TV anymore. I just mostly go online or stream things. True, because it's weird. You pay so much for television, and there's all of these channels, and there's nothing to watch. It's kind of like that meme from Fairly Odd Parents where like or from that episode where Timmy Turner goes back in time to sabotage his dad, and he's like, in the future there are 500 TV channels with nothing to, and it's like, do they not realize how relevant that is today? It's insane, man. But yeah, it's like, there's a lot of things that you just don't want to watch on TV, and then you kind of just either go on YouTube or you stream crap. So I don't have Disney Plus. I don't really plan on ever getting Disney Plus. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's really a lot of things I'd want to see. But Excuse me. But like, like yeah, I don't know. There would be things that I'd want to plan on trying to see at Disney Plus, but it's possible. Um, but yeah, that's kind of why we have all these streaming services, and not only that, but the what am I trying to say? The beauty of watching on Netflix, especially if you're binge watching a series or like binge watching a season or whatnot. What they do is that once like when they finish, I think when you first start watching, like say episode 1, if you want to watch through the intro you can, but they give you the option of skipping the intro. And when the entire episode's finished, they also kind of generally give you an option of whether you want to skip the credits and the intro, and sometimes they just do it. So like the credits will start playing for just a tiny bit, and you'll see like the loading screen come up, and then it kind of stops, right? It kind of gets out of the episode, then it goes to the next episode, and right when the intro is finished, it starts playing. It basically kind of shows you a little bit of that intro, just the ending of the intro, and then it continues on with the next episode. And it's great because you don't have to sit through the intro and the credits every single time. So it's like, thank you. So I don't know if other streaming services do that as well. I'm sure they do. But I only have Netflix, so I can only speak on behalf of Netflix. So I know they do that, and it's a blessing because I don't have to like be like, okay, skip, 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 skip. I can just let it play, and it just skips automatically. So it's great. Anyway, continuing on. Claude says the Prod Family is coming back with new episodes for Disney Plus. That's gonna be interesting. Again, I never really had much of an interest in Proud Family. Don't ask me why I didn't like it. I mean, okay, I can't particularly say that I didn't like it when I was a kid, but it just wasn't one of those shows that was my favorite, I guess. And it's still not. I mean, now, it probably would be, because, I mean, I haven't seen or even tried to attempt to watch any of the previous episodes of Proud Family, to be honest. But if I were to try to watch some episodes now, I probably would most likely like the series more than I did when I was a kid. Like with, say, Hey Arnold, for example. For some reason, it wasn't one of my favorite shows when I was younger. Now, I can watch episodes and appreciate the show and actually like the show and everything like that. So, it's weird, because, I mean, you have different tastes when you're a kid, but it's interesting when there's a show that wasn't your favorite, but now when you're older, you're like, oh, I really love it. Or sometimes there's a show that you liked when you were a little kid, and when you grow up, you're like, why the hell did I like this? Like Dora the Explorer, you know what I mean? Like that show, you loved that show when you were a kid, but now when you grow up, you hate it. It's not the same with Blue's Clues. You watched the show when you were a kid. You watched some episodes of the old series now, and you still laugh at Steve, and you still have a good time watching it. And even like the new series, you still kind of have a good time and feel somewhat nostalgic of the series as well. So like it's interesting how certain tastes change and some of them stay the same when you get older. So yeah, kind of like my love for cartoons and animation. Never changed. Never changed. Like it's interesting. Like if I go to a movie, you'll most likely see me go into an animated movie instead of like a superhero movie or a drama movie or a sci-fi movie. Nope, most likely it'll be an animation movie. I just like animated movies. Like it's yeah. and also I still watch certain shows on like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and the like. So so there's that kind of stuff. Anyway, continuing on. Claude says the creator of Lizzie McGuire left working on the sequel series after filming just 2 episodes because of creative differences. Yeah, I definitely heard about that. There's so many times for some reason when people work on a show on Disney and they end up just switching developments. I mean, it's not switching developments, but switching the team up because of as you said, their creative differences. I don't get it. It's probably not even creative differences. It could be that who knows. But it's weird. But yeah, it's if this continues to happen, people may not even want to try to work for Disney anymore. Like you may not even want to pitch them a story idea or a movie or a show or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, continuing here. What other book series should be turned into an animated? So, hold on. Northwestern Railway 66 says, hadn't seen the Owl House, but all I can say is I love that intro and it has hell of a fluid animation. I haven't seen much of the animation, nor have I seen the intro, but I'll definitely try to check that out. Walker Lee says, hello, welcome, how you doing? Now, going back, he said, Claude says, what other book series should be turned into an animated series? I'm not quite sure about that. Now, you could be talking about purely, yeah, actually, you know what would be, well, I mean, we already have movies on it, but what would have been interesting is if Diary of the Wimpy Kid was a series. Like, if it was a animated series, that would have definitely been interesting. And not only that, but they would have definitely been able to go, do a whole lot more than the movies were able to. And not just that, but like some of the ridiculousness that you saw in the movies, you'd be able to get away with in animation because, you know, in animation you can do certain things and it kind of just looks natural, whereas you try to do it in a live action movie and it just looks strange. But yeah, it would definitely be interesting if they were to take, you know, like the Diary of the Wimpy Kid and turn that into an animated series. And it honestly wouldn't surprise me if that happened. Like as big as as the books still are, yeah, it literally would not surprise me if excuse me, it wouldn't surprise me if they were to do something like that. And it probably would be better than some of the movies that came out. Even though, interestingly enough, like, even though the movies weren't the best, they were still somewhat good and they were kind of enjoyable. And the cast was good too. Whereas with the last movie that came out, which I didn't see, didn't have any interest in seeing it because I personally didn't like the casting and thought the movie just didn't feel like Diary of the Wimpy Kid, something like that. I don't know. But like, that one just didn't seem to do so well at all. So it was, yeah. So I don't know. But if they were to make an animated series out of that, again, wouldn't surprise me, and it would honestly kind of make sense. Okay. So what other questions here? Emily Yasha says, at least Disney is trying to keep up with the times. I don't know what this means for Disney Channel, though, or Disney XD. What? Well, that's in response to something. I'm not quite sure what it is. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like it's Disney Channel is just not doing well. Like most of their shows are mediocre at best, to be honest. What else can I say? Most of the shows for me, that's why they're not doing as well as Cartoon Network, surprisingly, and they're not doing as well as Nickelodeon. I mean, yeah, some of the shows on Nickelodeon are also mediocre, like Henry Danger, which is finally in its final season, thank God. And they're trying to make the show look more dramatic, where, you know, it's like, oh, I don't want to be a sidekick anymore. And it's like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, we've done this before. It won't surprise me if he ends up still being a sidekick by the end of the series, or he becomes the actual Captain Man or some shit. It wouldn't freaking surprise me. But I don't care. The show's about to end. That's all I care about. The show's terrible. Hopefully the actors get much better roles in their in the future. I don't know, but like, yeah, especially Jace Norman, because yeah, I mean, because when he's done Henry Danger and he's done some of these other movies on Nickelodeon, he's just not shown to be a good actor, and I'm sure that he could be a good actor, and he probably is a good actor. You just don't know, because with the stuff that he's been given to do, like again, Henry Danger, The Adventures of Kid Danger, which was a terrible freaking show, absolutely garbage. And you had like some of the 3 other movies that he was in with Nickelodeon, and like you can only do what you're given. You know, you can only do so well with the material you're given. You know, and like so with him, it's probably that situation. He probably, you know, he probably is a good actor, just wasn't given the right material to work with. You know what I mean? So you never know. But put him in like a movie or like another television show, and he probably is a good actor. Again, don't know because some of the other stuff he's done is just not been good. So you can't fully put the fault on the actors for that, especially when he started. He was a kid, so you know. But anyway, let's continue. What was I particularly talking about? But yeah, how like Disney's not doing really well in terms of like Disney Channel and whatnot. Um, but you just recently replied to that saying, uh, what was it? Uh, hold on a second. There's been. Okay. Um. Thought so. Where was it? I just saw. Oh yeah, Disney Plus replacing Disney Channel and XD. I mean, yeah, that's true. Like Disney Plus might if they are replacing Disney Channel, that's fine. Because again, Disney Channel is just not good right now. Disney XD is a little better, but it's like it's not the best, but it's not terrible. Anyway, and also Northwestern Railway says I feel Jace has potential. He just needs better things to work, but the dude got a haircut, so okay, I haven't seen him recently, so I don't know what he looks like. But yeah, like most actors just like, especially some of these shows, when they're like starting off in like Disney Channel or whatnot, sometimes they'll get on a show that actually is pretty good and it showcases their talent really well. And sometimes you're on a show which is terrible and it doesn't showcase your talents pretty well. So, it kind of sucks when that happens, but, But anyway, let me continue here. Where was I? Claude says, I hate... Oh, no. Where was... Okay, no, I went way down. All right, so Northwestern Railway 66 says, at the same time, I feel Disney should back off and let creators have at least some freedom with their shows. Firing 3 people in a row because of creative differences is not looking good. I agree. Here's an example I would like to use. So, as you guys know, Frozen, they got a Broadway musical. So, they also did the same thing with Liz McGuire, where they started working on the show, not really like rehearsals and whatnot, but they were like, they were workshopping it and everything like that. And they had a director, person who currently directed the Beetlejuice musical, which is actually really good. He was originally the director for Frozen, but they basically fired him because of creative differences, and they hired somebody else. I would have definitely loved to, and also I've seen the Frozen musical like about a month ago. And I kind of want to try to see it again. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to because I don't think I'll be able to afford it at the moment. And it's about to leave in about a week, so I may not try. But it was... The show's good. Don't get me wrong. The musical's good. I kind of enjoyed myself because there was an annoying family behind me, and that was like the worst. But the show overall was pretty good. I just felt as though that it could have done so much better, in my personal opinion. Like, I thought that they could have, they didn't take it far enough. I think that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to that. Like, I don't think they took it far enough as to, being something different or whatever. Like, they didn't treat, or let's just put it this way. It's almost a copy-paste movie just put on the stage. Essentially, almost. And some of the songs are okay. There's some songs that are good, yada, 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 but... I think, especially with some of the musicals I've seen from Disney, I think they could have done way better. I would give it a B instead of an A+, or an A. It's definitely a B. Not a B minus, but a B. And I can see as to why it didn't get a lot of recognition from the award shows and all that stuff. And why SpongeBob did, because SpongeBob is a much better musical in comparison to Frozen. So yeah, but yeah, that's basically what they did. They kind of changed the directors and whatnot, and so I think if they stayed with that, the guy's name was Alex Timber. If they stuck with, I think that's his name. If they stuck with him, I don't know what they would have done with the musical. It probably would have been a little better. I have no idea, but I would have loved to have seen that version. But the version we got currently is good, but I think it could have been better by Disney standards. Like by Disney standards, it definitely could have been better. But yeah, man, like when they fire these creators over and over again, it's not only is it crazy, but it's annoying at the same time. Northwestern Railway 66 says probably Frog and Toad. Not quite sure what that's in reply to, but I'm sure you'll explain. Walker Lee says Diary of the Wimpy Kid as an anime series sounds way better than the movies itself. The movies were just meh. I'd have to agree with that. Again, I did enjoy mainly the first two movies. Didn't really see the third movie that much. In the fourth movie, I just had no interest. But yeah, the movies were okay. But again, the casting was pretty good, which kind of made the movie, to be honest. Kayla Wilson says, I noticed that for the past couple of years, there are a lot of TV shows that are reboots of older popular shows, and some new shows aren't really coming, and some new original shows aren't really coming up as much. What are your thoughts? Yeah, man. I mean, on the plus, I'm glad that there are still some new ideas coming out, but it is sad when you see that there's a lot of these movies and television shows where it is just reboots. Um, and it's not always a terrible thing, even though a lot of these reboots haven't really been great. It wouldn't matter to me as much if, say, a reboot was able to, say, change the series or tell like a completely new story, or they were able to say they were able to I don't know, just do something completely new to where it was actually an amazing reboot or something. I don't know how to fully explain it. Like, obviously, if those reboots could be amazing, then no one would really be complaining. Probably would still be a little tired of it because you'd want some new stuff. But if as long as the show was good, you wouldn't really care. Same with movies. But yeah, I do think that at some point they do need to start doing like some new content. But and the sad part is I understand why they're doing these reboots and remakes, because it's what makes money. They know that, oh, this was popular back in the day. Let's bring this back, and we can continue to make some more money off of it. And yeah, I mean that's why they do it. It's a money situation. Yeah. It sucks. That's just how the business is. But yeah. Now Walker Lee says, honestly, Kayla, I feel most reboots of shows or movies are just less likely to have the same popularity as it did as the original, although games having reboots could be a different story. Good point. Definitely a good point. Like some of them do much better, but then there's a lot of them that just don't do so well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. Claude says thoughts on the Loud House movie and what you think the plot could be. Is that still happening? Because I know that's been pushed back for a while, I think. And what would the plot? I really don't know. But it would be interesting to see a Loud House movie, and I wonder if it would be. Hopefully they don't do live action with that, because that would just look weird. And also, I wonder if it would be CGI instead of 2D, or the 2D would kind of be more refined or something. I really have no idea, but that definitely would be interesting. Walker Lee says reboots don't feel right, can't explain it very well. Yeah. I don't know. That's no, I don't know. I am still a little tired from today. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. So if I feel a little out of it, kinda, I'm gonna try to end this stream in a little bit because I do want to try to get some dinner going. No, I shouldn't buy something because I already bought some food earlier. So don't buy stuff twice. Anyway, let's see. Northwestern Railway 66 says it was the animated series based on a book that should have been adapted. Question someone brought up. Oh, about Frog and Toad, I guess. Okay, I never. Oh, you're talking about I shoot. Oh, book. Oh, the book series. What book series should be adapted to an animated series? Okay. Um, have I ever? It's like Frog and Toad. Okay, all right. That was that. Yeah, I don't think I ever read that series before, to be honest. So I didn't know about it. I mean, I probably did know about it at some point, but like, didn't definitely wasn't something I read when I was younger or anything like that. So I didn't know. Okay, so yeah, so that probably would be a good. You know what? Oof. To be honest with you, I'm not quite sure about this one, but there's this book that I used to read when I was a kid, and it was Leo and the Lightning Bug. No, Leo the Lightning Bug, I think. It was about like this little lightning bug that couldn't light up its light, and the other lightning bugs made fun of him for it, and so he tried and tried and tried, and then he eventually, all that. So yeah, it was definitely like a picture book, and it was one of my favorites when I was a kid. It would be kind of interesting if they were to take that book and turn it into a movie. I don't know how they would do it, but it would be interesting if they were to take that book and turn it into a movie. Though I would be scared because it'd be like, well, if they do that, then what exactly are they going to add to the movie to make it 90 minutes long? And what would they do to possibly butcher it up? I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. But like, it would have definitely been interesting if they were to like excuse me, if that was a book that they turned into like a movie or a television show or something like that. um oh, and speaking of which, strange thing, well, not really strange, but something that's been on my mind for a while. You guys know of the book Polar Express and the movie of Polar Express as well. I always wondered, always kind of imagined what actually not always. It's kind of been like a recent thing. But I kind of imagined what it would be like if it was like a live stage show. Like if it was like a 90-minute musical or something. Um, and I because it would definitely be interesting, but I would wonder if it would be something that would actually work. It probably could. You never know. But like what I kind of like imagined when it came to that show in particular. I mean, well, that show, that book, like if it were to be, um, like let's say for example, if I were to kind of like write a musical and I decided to base it off of the Polar Express story, uh, the way I would kind of make it different, and that's kind of like the only thing I would do, is kind of make it where I don't know the kid's name, the main character's name. Don't remember his name. I'll just say it was Tom or something. I really don't know. But I would kind of make it out to be where it's like like say Tom kind of comes back as because in the book it's being told by like an older man, like he's like probably 50 years old or 60 years old telling this story. I would kind of make it where it's like instead of that he kind of is coming back from college and he's visiting his family for Christmas, and he has like a little brother who's like maybe 5, 6, or 7 years old or something, and they haven't seen each other in a while because he went off to college and now he's back, and they're like he always tells like certain Christmas stories and whatnot, and he decides to start talking about the Polar Express. Tell him a story about the Polar Express, and oh, they hear the bell, and the bell still rings for him even though he's in college. You'd think that he wouldn't, all that stuff. I would kind of like, they ring the bell, then he kind of goes into the story of how he got the bell and how he got onto the Polar Express and everything like that. And which would be interesting if I were to add, if that were to be like an adaptation of the book, and what I would also do is kind of have it where it kind of what? How do I explain this? It would be interesting if, like, again, the older brother would kind of tell his little brother, right, about the story, and he kind of tries to somewhat role play the scenario where he's like, pretend that you're sleeping and I narrate it, and then you get up, oh look, the train's outside, and we go downstairs and we go look out the door or something. And like, what would, and this is just in my mind, and that's kind of all I have, to be honest. It would be interesting if I actually kind of wrote this. But like, what would happen is that, like, he goes downstairs and he sees like the conductor, like the older brother kind of pretends to be the conductor, and he's like, and then when he says this is the Polar Express, you would have like the house set kind of like either rise up into the fly area to reveal the Polar Express in the front. You see the actual train and everything like that, and what happens is that the older brother actually ends up just turning into a narrator, and then the little brother actually gets on the Polar Express and actually kind of plays out as the younger version of Tom. Again, I don't know his name, but I'm just calling him Tom right now. The main character of Polar Express. So yeah, that if I were to adapt that book into like a musical or a stage show or something, that would be something I would do. Like that, it would be interesting instead of just being like, oh, I'm gonna read you a storybook. No, it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna tell you a story, and then throughout the whole show, you actually become Tom, and then yada yada yada. So like, it was stuff that just came up in my head, like when like about a year ago, and it's always kind of been stuck with me for a while. Maybe it's something I should write. I don't know, but or possibly find somebody. It would be like definitely interesting. You know what I mean? But that, yeah. So that's kind of, and not only that, but because I'm a musical theater kid, I always kind of imagine, what would this movie be like if it was a musical? What would this be like? I always imagine that stuff. So, it's that kind of situation. Anyway, let me try to speed this up because I do want to try to end this at some point. Almost been going on for about 2 hours. Wasn't expecting that. Anyway. Claude says, thoughts on a possible Gumball movie? If that were to come out, I wondered if it would be too late. Like, it would be interesting if they were, like, working on the movie right now, but being very secretive about it. So it would come out somewhat recently or something like that. Like, that would be interesting, but, I don't know if it's gonna happen. Like, it would be cool if it happened. So at the very least, we get some closure of the freaking series finale. Because, you had Rob falling into the void. It pauses, and that's it. It's like, what kind of ending was that? It was very ominous. It was interesting, but it's like, that was, like, we need more to that story. So I hope we get something. And if the movie is the one that kind of tells us what happened, then fine, I guess. Though, again, strangely enough, when it comes to Amazing with a Gumball, even though the series ended last year, it still aired regularly as usual. It still has a lot of airtime on Cartoon Network. Now, yeah, granted, it was, one of their biggest aired shows currently, besides Teen Titans Go. But, like, I'm not, I don't know, to be honest with you. Like, it's, crap. What was I completely just lost my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, like, it would, I don't know, if it were to be able to, like, give us some sort of conclusion, that would be great. But again, I don't know if, like, if it would be able to happen at this point. But anyway, and Northwestern Railway says, look up on something. I'm not sure if you were still. No, you were talking about something else, I think. Not quite sure. I don't know. Anyway, let me just continue here. Northwestern Railway says, DuckTales 2017 is a perfect example of what reboots should strive for, but what do I know? I mean, true, yeah, they've done pretty well. I haven't really watched the original DuckTales, but I've only seen the 2017 version of DuckTales, and it's a pretty good show. I like it. I haven't seen every episode, I've seen I don't know how many episodes I've really seen. I haven't seen a lot, but I like the story. I like where they're going with the story and everything. Like the characters. So yeah, they're doing pretty well for that show. Clyde says thoughts on the Grogar twist from the MLP series finale. I don't know about it. Never watched it. Don't really plan on seeing it. To be honest. So I don't know. I guess Northwestern Railway. I guess he replied to you on that one. He said 2 words: wasted potential, but thankfully the epilogue finale episode existed, which felt more satisfying. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what you were replying to in particular, yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a very very long time, so it's yeah. Emo Inuyasha says, yeah, with music the way it sounds may sound original, but what the songs are about, it could be the same, like boys in love with girl thing, or let's party, or girl likes boy, other way around, or things like that, or Ariana Grande with favorite things, but her what what was that a reply to? I'm not quite sure because I am behind when it comes to these replies. So give me some clarification on what that was a reply to, just so I can get some understanding to it. Northwestern. No, I already read that one. Walker Lee says thoughts on the Zoe 101 controversy. Not sure when it happened, but I know it was recent. I haven't really heard anything about it, so I have no idea what happened. Excuse me. Oh, and Emo Yasha says reboots or nothing original. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actually, you know what? You got a point. You got a good point when it comes to music. It all really does sound the same. It's all love songs, which is annoying. It's like, it's annoying, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, it's I mean, there's still some good songs out there. Don't get me wrong, but then there's a lot of them that kind of just sounds like it's the exact same thing, you know. Continuing. Northwestern Railway 66 says, though it's shitty MLP fans went after Jim Miller, one of the writers, and personally attacked him on Twitter. I get being disappointed and all, but don't do this. Oh, so I'm guessing with whatever happened, like the bronies basically attacked Jim Miller and some of the writers. Why do they do that? I don't understand why they do that. Like, they did it when they turned Twilight Sparkle into a fucking alicorn, right? They also did it when they came out with its My Little Pony Life or something. That little video. They started going after some of the they went after Hasbro and some of the creators and it's like, why do you think that's a good idea to do this shit? I don't understand it. It's insane, but it's like whatever. That's all I can say. But yeah, which is exactly why I dropped out of the Browning fandom the first year I was in it. It's because they're crazy. They're definitely not my crowd. Walker Lee says, well, somewhat of a controversy, but an actress explaining her traumatic experience on the set. And then he says, wait, what? I'm going to have to look the Zoe 101 stuff to see what the hell is going on. That shit's crazy. I'm going to continue. Because I might look it up too. But again, I am going to try to end the stream pretty soon right now. Oh, shoot. I wanted to talk about Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland. I'll do that when I finish these comments here. And I might try to get to the Zoe 101 situation. Or if you can explain what happened in the chat so I can at least understand what's going on with the Zoe 101 controversy that I literally never heard about until now, to be honest, then go ahead and do it. Email Inuyasha, reboots are nothing original. They're not. Reboots or nothing original. Yeah, that's sad. Wish we could get some more original content, but yeah, it's what it is. David the Nerd says, what do you think of Infinity Train Book 2? It's pretty good. I've talked about it already earlier within the stream, so I'm not going to say too much about it again. But I did really enjoy the series, and hopefully if they do come out with a third book, it's even better. Most likely it will be, but at the same time, you never know. Claude also asks, have you seen Kippo? Nope. I have no idea what that is. I might know, but it's just not coming at the top of my head right now. I don't think I've seen it. And then you also say, have you seen Tangled the series? I think I've only seen one episode, and I don't really remember much from it, to be honest. So kind of yes, but for the most part, no, I haven't. Okay, so you did explain. Walker Lee says Alex Nicola, Alex. Nope, actually, I got Alexa right next to me, so I don't want her to activate. But the person who played Nicole explained it on a live stream, saying that she was bullied on set by the actors and felt left out while the others were all just hanging out, etc. She live streamed it. It's all on YouTube. Okay. Huh. If that's true, that sucks, man. Like you could, because if you're acting on TV, or if you're acting on a theater show or something, you don't want to be bullied by everybody, because if you got to act with everyone, you'd want to make it seem as though that you're actually friends on screen or on stage and whatnot, and it kind of just makes it more genuine when you're all friendly with each other. Like if you, and not that I've had this experience where I was with an actor or was with actors who I didn't get along with. I didn't really have that scenario when I was acting on the stage or anything like that. But I just know that excuse me. I just know that I'm pretty sure that if you're acting with somebody that you don't like, it may still be a good performance, but it's not as genuine as a performance that you would get as if you were acting with somebody that was your best friend or something, or if you really get along with each other. You know what I mean? So, but if that is true, then that really freaking sucks. I mean, yeah, that's I mean, it's allegations at this point, maybe, or if it's been proven. I really don't know. But yeah, it sucks, especially when I'm sure she was pretty young when she was in that role. Um, and Walker Lee says, in anything doing a show by Dan must be horrifying with the feet fetish. Yeah, I mean, who knows? The kids probably thought it was just a funny, silly thing when it came to excuse me, when it came to like the whole situation with the feet. Like they probably didn't know he had a foot fetish, but like, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, but they probably thought it was just a silly thing at the time. But then when they find out he had a foot fetish, they're probably like, oh God, I don't know. Anyway, Northwestern Railway says, do you seriously think most actors actually can stand each other? Companies force most of them for contract. Well, I mean, that's the thing though. Like, yeah, there's probably a lot of actors who work with each other that do not get along with each other for whatever reason. And yeah, it's true. You're on a contract. If you don't get along with somebody, most likely you're gonna have to be stuck with them. Whatever. Like that does happen, obviously. But there are situations definitely where you do get along with each other. Like a lot of times, I would say you do get along with each other, especially considering the fact that you're spending a lot of time with each other. Like you kind of do. You would kind of start forming a friendship at some point. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. I haven't been on a television show yet. Hopefully that happens sometime this year, to be honest. Hopefully my agent does pretty well, and hopefully I do pretty well in submitting to stuff too. But but either way, like like I haven't been on that in that situation before, so I never worked with an actor I didn't get along with. I think in most situations you would kind of get along with somebody, but that it kind of sometimes depends on like the person. Like sometimes a person can just be very irritable. Like they're just not easy to work with. You definitely have those kinds of people. They could be like divas and whatnot, so it's that happens. Trust me. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I actually had a huge celebrity crush on her. Walker Lee says, proud to say it. Claude says, who's your celebrity crush? I don't I don't think I have one of be honest. Yeah, no, no. To be honest, I don't think I have one. I don't think so. Yeah, I no. The only thing I can say practically is no. I don't think I have anyone as a celebrity crush, to be honest. I'm not really all that obsessed with celebrities, nor do I find, make a big deal when it comes to celebrities. Maybe because I've seen so many in my lifetime, and, with the game shows and some of the other, like, talent shows, and, certain situations where, I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. But, oh, speaking of which, yesterday I saw James Corden while I was at The Price is Right. What happened was that I was walking up to the CBS studios to get in so we can, like, um, so we could, you know, put in our tickets and go to the show. And I saw this car that was on a rig. Because if you know, in movies, they don't actually drive. Like, they're on, like, a rig where, like, there's a big truck or just a truck driving. And you'll have, like, all these cameramen either outside of the car or something like that. And it'll make it look as if the person's actually driving. All they're doing is just, like, steering the wheel and all that. That's usually most driving scenes in movies. That's how they shoot them. So that's what I saw with with that car, except instead of, like, all these cameramen outside of the car, you just had, like, 4 cameras on the car. Like, I think you had 2 on the rear view mirrors and 2, like, in front, one in front of the driver's seat and one in front of the passenger seat. And it was James Corden. I didn't really notice, but my mom said, I think that's James Corden doing the carpool karaoke. And I was like, oh, okay, because he also films his show at the CBS studios as well, so it makes sense. So yeah, I think that definitely was him that I saw, which was pretty cool. But yeah, celebrity crush, I don't think I really have one. No, I don't think so. Right now, my celebrity crush is Christian Serratos. I guess she's on Walking Dead and did Susie on Ned's Declassified. Okay, that's cool. Emo Inuyasha says, I have 2. Brianna Gentilia, I don't know how you say her last name, who does Molly's singing voice and Bubble Guppies, and Chloe something, I don't know, from earlier Dance Mom seasons. I don't know why she's like 5 years younger. LOL, what's wrong with me? Look, if you are not 18, that's fine. That's fine. Okay? I mean, shoot, as long as you're not saying you want to bang them or something. I don't know, but, like, yeah, if you're 18 and older and you're saying that, gonna lie, not gonna lie, probably a little creepy. But if you're, I mean, if they are also of age and you're of age and whatnot, then fine. Like, if you're, that's that's the only thing I can really say, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Just gonna leave that one there. Okay, so that's all the comments I have so far. So I said I was gonna talk about Rise of the Resistance. Might as well, just for a quick second. So as you guys know, Disneyland and Walt Disney World, they have their Star Wars Galaxy's Edge land open. And if you follow the news with Disneyland and all that, they've been, and something just happened. It kind of cut out for a very quick second. No idea, but anyway, continuing. But yeah, in fact, I'm gonna end this very soon though, but still, just quickly talk about Rise of the Resistance. But yeah, like, if you've been watching television, especially if you watch Disney or something, you probably have seen, like, the advertisements for the new rides and whatnot. And, like, I've seen the POV of Rise of the Resistance from, like, multiple people. And the ride, and again, this is coming from someone who's not really a Star Wars fan. Haven't watched any of the movies, not really all that interested in watching any of the movies. It could possibly happen, but it's just not my thing. But this is coming from someone who is not a Star Wars fan. That ride looks awesome. It looks amazing. Just with all the stuff that they're doing, they have like the pre-shows where you see like a hologram. You have like this shuttle that you get on where it's like, oh, it's taking you into space, and then you apparently get caught on a star destroyer or something, and now you're being interrogated by the First Order or something. And like it's from all the stuff I've seen, and then you get on the actual ride, which is a trackless ride, and then you see like all the effects they have and everything like that, and it's like, man, it's just looks so cool, and it's something I would love to get on 100%. Even with that drop that they have at the end of the ride, where it's like, oh, you get on an escape pod and it drops you into space and you take off. It's like, yeah, I'm not one for free falls. I never done a free fall drop before. But I mean, I don't know. It probably isn't that bad, but honestly, that would not stop me from getting on the ride. I would still get on it. Now, here's the issue. The issue is, because of how complex the ride is, it constantly breaks down. And so, like, it'll run for, like, maybe 4 or 5 hours max-ish, and then it'll shut down. It'll break down for, like, maybe an hour or two. It was worse. It was horrible for Hollywood Studios in Orlando. When they opened the park on Tuesday, the ride was shut down for like 7 hours. 7 hours. It didn't open until 7 hours later. And that's insane. And the reason why that's even crazier is because, like, for that ride, they have like a boarding pass system. So you have to be in the park at a certain time. At least, well, you have to be at the park at least when the park opens. Like, because they let people into the park like 30 minutes early now. And as long as you're in the park, once the park hits, like, say, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, then you can go onto the app and try to get a boarding pass. And those boarding passes go in, like, literally seconds or a minute. And it's insane, man. Like, when it comes to me, I am definitely going to wait for a while. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to be able to go back to Disneyland anyway, but I am 100% going to wait for a while to be able to get on that ride. Because as if the demand for the ride dies down to where the boarding passes aren't always gobbled up within the first minute of it being available to the public, then I'll go and try to get it or something. I don't know. I'll try my hand at actually trying to get on the ride, because my friend Javon, which you've seen in a couple of my videos before, like a couple of years ago, he's been on the ride. He went on opening day at Disneyland, which is insane. He got there at 1:30 in the morning. I don't know how you do that, but that's what he did. And he got a guaranteed boarding pass to get on Rise of the Resistance. And he talked to me about how, like, all of the ride is amazing and we should do it together, because fuck, I can't speak. I am still kind of tired. I can't wait to go to bed. But I have work tomorrow, so, but either way, he was talking to me about, like, saying, hey, the next time you go to Disneyland, hit me up, because I want to go with you, because we got to do this ride together. And it's like, okay. I mean, I think that's why he wants to go with me to Disneyland, so he can see how I like the ride or something like that, which makes sense. But, like, yeah, it's, it's a ride I definitely want to get on. Like, it's insane. It's definitely insane, but, like, it's a ride I definitely want to get on. Again, this is someone who's not that much of a Star Wars fan, but I do somewhat appreciate the franchise. Like, I'm like, oh, no, I recognize the Stormtroopers and Darth Vader, Han Solo, Rey, Yoda, Baby Yoda, which his real name is the Child. Just like, okay, fine. Certain things like that. So I know the characters. I kind of somewhat know the world. I don't know what the war is about. Whatever. But, yeah, as someone who's not a Star Wars fan, I still would love to get on this ride. Like, I really want to experience it. But yeah, like, so that's kind of all I have to say with it. I just, hopefully, like, within the next few months, the kinks have all been worked out. Like, it doesn't break down every day, or it doesn't break down as much. Or if it breaks down, hopefully they're able to reboot the system much quicker than an hour or two. I mean, it is a complex ride, don't get me wrong, but hopefully they're able to fix that sooner than later. And also, hopefully, the boarding system situation is a lot less hectic than what it was before. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Walker Lee says, "Are you going to the Nintendo World once it is fully built?" I haven't been to Universal Studios in a long time, so I still haven't visited Harry Potter's Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I haven't visited that place yet. So I want to. I definitely want to. But when it comes to Nintendo World, I think I definitely will try to visit that as well. And they're also having another Nintendo World in Orlando with their new theme park called Epic Universe, I think. So that's also going to be pretty awesome as well. So yeah, when it comes to that, I'll definitely try to visit it. It'd be cool. It would definitely be cool to be able to ride Mario Kart because it's a game that everyone has played at some point. Whether you've played it on like the Game Boy, or you played it on the Nintendo DS, or you played it on the Wii or whatever, like whatever other gaming systems you're able to play it on. Almost everybody's basically played the game, so it would be awesome to be able to actually ride Mario Kart. Like that would be awesome. I would just hope it wouldn't be Rainbow Road because I don't want to do any inversions, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did Rainbow Road. Anyway, continuing. Walker Lee also says I tried watching Star Wars and it wasn't for me. All right, it probably wouldn't be for me either, to be honest. I don't know. And he also says he must be in reply to my friend being at Disneyland at 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. He says he must be really determined to wake up at that time. I guess he was really excited. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, it was opening day and everybody, so many people were like lining up at 5 o'clock in the morning and all that stuff. So, yeah, it was definitely insane that he actually did that. I don't know how you can stand to be at Disneyland at 1 o'clock in the morning when the park's not open, especially when it rained on them. And I have no idea how you can wait for about 7 hours for the park to open. And I don't know how you can do it. I can't do it. But he's done something like this before. Like, when we went to the Anime Expo 2 years ago, he waited. I don't know what time they got in line, but they were waiting in line to basically just to get into Anime Expo. They wanted to be one of the first to get in. Him and his girlfriend, and him and his girlfriend and two other friends, I think. Right? Yeah. And what they were waiting for, because they wanted to get in first, so they can at least be one of the first few people, or not really one of the first, but still be able to make the line to get to see the world premiere of the My Hero Academia movie. So I ended up getting there, I think, at like 7:30, and I think they opened the doors at 8 o'clock or something like that. And so they waited. I think they got there at 4 o'clock in the morning or something. So they've done this before. I don't know what they've done. I don't know if they've done it for anything else. But he's no stranger to getting up at early in the morning and waiting for hours to do stuff. That's how much of a fan he is of certain things. And he's a pretty big fan of Star Wars as well. Like he goes into very high detail about the movies and the cinematic aspect of it and whatnot. So he's a pretty big fan of Star Wars. So in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense that he woke up very early to get not priority seats, but to get there early to be one of the first people to try to get to Disneyland and try to get a boarding pass. So doesn't surprise me when I kind of think about how big of a Star Wars fan he is. Even though he's not really the biggest fan of the new trilogy, which I hear so many people say. But yeah, he's a big fan of Star. That's all you need to know. But yeah, it doesn't really surprise me at the end of the day. Northwestern Railway 66 says, have you heard the song for the Sonic movie? They couldn't just have hired a rock band or get Crush 40. This type of genre of rap doesn't work for Sonic, of all things. Haven't seen it. I will definitely check it out after this stream. Because when you say it's a rap song, it's like, okay, it shouldn't surprise you because that's what kids' movies do nowadays. I mean, especially when it's like a franchise like Sonic. Like, it's if they were to make a movie based on Crash Bandicoot, they probably would do the same damn thing. So it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And the last comment, Ryan Treasure says, "Have you done any tours at Disneyland?" I'm definitely going to be doing the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour when I go in a few months. I have unfortunately not done a tour of Disneyland before. It's possible I'll do it one day, but if that's your first time visiting Disneyland, then it probably is recommended to do the tour, especially considering the fact that walking through the steps of Walt. Because you go to Walt Disney World, you're not going to be able to do that because unfortunately Walt died before Disney World ever opened. Uh, and Walt Disney World literally, I mean Walt Disney literally walked in Disneyland. So it's the original park and everything like that. So it's I will warn you, it is small. Like, if you've been to Walt Disney World, which you probably haven't, but if you have, expect Disneyland to be much smaller than Disney World. Like, and when I say Disney World, I mean Magic Kingdom. All right, because those parks are somewhat similar. But if you've been to the Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World, and you're going to Disneyland, expect it to be smaller. The castle's smaller and everything like that. And that's not a bad thing. But Disneyland is like, it is somewhat small, but I mean, okay, it's small, but it's big at the same time. I mean, I know it's weird. It is a pretty big park, but yeah, if you can, definitely, whenever you go on that tour, definitely tell me how that tour is, because I would like to know what it's like and, possibly see if it's worth my while to do a tour as well. And also learn about, like, the history of Disneyland. I mean, I kind of learned certain history elements about Disneyland, especially about, like, the opening day where everything was just a complete disaster on the opening day, and then the next day they actually got things working. But yeah, like, hopefully you have a good time at Disneyland. Again, if that's your first time, and if it's not your first time, then hopefully you still have a good time at Disneyland, and hopefully the tour is good. Okay, perfect. So it is you've been to Walt Disney World 8 times, but this is your first time ever going to Disneyland. Been wanting to go since you were very young, so excited. That's good. So yeah, so again, Disneyland is much smaller because I'm sure you've been to the Magic Kingdom. Who hasn't? So it is much smaller than the Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, but it is still a big park within its own merits. And the castle is also a lot smaller as well. And yeah, but it's still a really fun park. I personally, if I gotta be honest, somewhat, maybe it's because it's my home park. I kind of do like Disneyland a little better than Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, but I mean, not to shut the other park down because it's still an amazing park. I kind of just like, I think I'm biased because I live here in California. You know what I mean? But yeah, but hopefully your first visit to Disneyland is great. If you go by Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, hopefully you enjoy that place too because it is recently new. And it's an amazing land. Also, if you do happen to go to Galaxy's Edge, I highly recommend, and this is for anybody else that's watching as well, if you go back to Disneyland or if you go at all. It is somewhat expensive. It's about like $14 or something. I think it's about $15 maybe. But I highly recommend, if you go to Galaxy's Edge, try the Ronto wrap. It's amazing. It's delicious. If you like sausages and if you like pulled pork, and and if you like spicy coleslaw, it's good. It's delicious, man. I was not expecting it to be that good. Like, but it was so good. A burst of flavor. It was just amazing. So definitely recommend that. Also, a tip for you as well. What you might want to try to do is, you might want to. What am I trying to say? Maybe think about getting a max pass. That's gonna be an extra $15, but maybe. And also, if you are going with like family or whatnot, or if you're going by yourself or something, um, I would highly recommend when it comes to like these e-ticket attractions like Space Mountain. Well, they probably do the same thing in Walt Disney World, so you probably already know. But like Space Mountain, probably Indiana Jones. If you're also going to California Adventure, do the Cars Land ride. What else? You could also do it with Smuggler's Run as well. I don't know what other rides. Big Thunder Mountain, I think, and Matterhorn. Those are the only ones that I can think of so far. Those six. Highly recommend try to get a fast pass for those rides, or if you can't, do single rider because if the rides lines is definitely like 30, well not 30 minutes long, because 30 minutes is like definitely, um, what am I trying to say? 30 minutes long is not a bad wait for a ride, especially at Disney. But if the line is like say 55 minutes long or over an hour long or something like that, try to do single rider because single rider will only get you like a 5 minute, maybe a 10 minute wait at most, which is good. You may miss out on some of the you might miss out on some of a queue of a ride that people would like to experience or something, but like it doesn't matter. But yeah. And also, if you can, try to. And now, if you're going on to Disneyland on a day where they're doing a show called Fantasmic, which you probably also have seen at the Hollywood Studios, couple of tips. One, there's no seating. Well, actually, there technically is seating, but it's not like the one at Hollywood Studios where there's literally a stadium where you can watch Fantasmic, because I've seen that show like probably 3 times over there. But at Walt Disney at Disneyland, it's in the middle of New Orleans Square, Frontierland, and kind of I guess it's kind of like in front of I don't know, it's a courtyard, so I don't know what they really call that area. Well, Rivers of America. If you go to Rivers of America, you'll most likely find where it is. Um, if they have say 2 or 3 shows that day, do not go to the first show. Do the second one or the third one, and you'll have a better chance of getting really good seats. Well, I keep saying seats. Technically, you don't really have seats there. But when I went the last time, I actually only waited for an hour or 45 minutes. I think no, I waited for like 45 minutes until the show started, and uh, what did I do? Like I was like right in the dead center of the show, like viewing point of like right in the dead center. And they do have like reserved seating areas. You can also try to get a fast pass for that show as well. That could be worth it. But try to give yourself like maybe an hour or so to wait for the show because people will definitely wait and get all the good spots. So if you can try to get a good spot for Fantasmic, definitely try to do it. But when I did it, like I was in the middle and I was kind of like right behind like the reserve seating, reserve viewing, which was actually people were all sitting on the ground. That was a seating area. So, and what happened was that like a minute before the show started, they actually let us we were standing like behind that specific section, and because it wasn't full, they let us actually go into that section, get closer to the river, and sit down. So we were able to sit down and watch the show, and it's great. And also, Fantasmic is different from the Orlando version because we did recently update ours 2 years ago, and also we have a much better dragon. I am going to clarify that to you one more time. We have a much better dragon in the Disneyland version than we do at than they do at the Walt Disney World version. I wonder if they're going to update that at some point. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah. That's all I can say. Anyway, I've been going on a whole, but yeah. Anyway, let me continue. Ryan's Treasure says, thanks, I'll definitely let you know when I get back how my time was and what I thought of the tour. Awesome. Walker Lee says, weird question, do you like heroes more or anti-heroes more? Personally, I have to go with anti-heroes. Um, I don't know. I honestly I don't know, to be honest. It's a good question. Uh, I really don't know. Northwestern Railway says not saying it's bad, but doesn't give as much heart as Sunflower from Spider Verse Purse. I guess that was the reaction, not reaction, but a reply to Walker Lee, maybe. And then Ryan Treasures also says, I actually wasn't planning on going to Galaxy's Edge since I heard it's identical to the one at Walt Disney World, which is a lot closer to me, but I'm definitely getting the Max Pass. Okay, good. Um, if you, yeah, so, okay, yeah, that's true, because it is exactly identical to the Walt Disney World version. That's true. But again, honestly, if just go only for the Ronto rap. If that's something that you think would be interested to try, just go to Galaxy's Edge for the Ronto rap. I'm being serious. It's really good. And last one says, thanks for letting me know. Is Fantasmic one of your favorite shows at Disneyland? 100% yes, it is. It's fantastic. Like, it's got live performers. It's got projection shows. Again, that giant freaking dragon they have, which also breathes fire. So freaking it's a great show. I mean, I will say that I do think that the original show, I will miss the original production of Fantasmic. But I will say that I do think that the excuse me, that the show has improved. It's really like I do miss the original version, but I do think that they did really great with the current version of Fantasmic. So if you do get a chance to see it, and also get a chance to see the fireworks as well, you'll be in for a real treat. Um, and also, another show that I do like at Disneyland as well is a show called Mickey and the Magical Map. It's a fun show. It's very cute as well. It's in Fantasyland, so if that's a show that, if you're interested in seeing any of the shows they have at Disney, then yeah, that's definitely one that I would recommend as well. Um, and you say, Ryan, is the Ronto Wrap your favorite thing you've ever eaten at Disneyland? I would probably have to say yes. And it's a wrap, actually. I don't know what kind of bread they use. It's kind of, it's not pita bread. I'm not sure what kind of bread they use. Like, it's wrapped, not like wrapped as like, well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. But either way, yeah, I would probably have to say that it is one of my favorite things that I have eaten at Disneyland so far. It's just that good. It's really good. There's a lot of things I still haven't tried at Disneyland. But in terms of food, but at some point, I'll definitely try certain things, and I probably should. I mean, if I could, I would definitely go to Disneyland just to try their foods and see which one's the best. I mean, I think a YouTuber already does that anyway, but it's like, I like to try new food, so it's. Anyway, continuing, and Ryan Treasure says, I've heard of that one. I do plan on seeing Mickey and the Magical Map. Perfect. Good. Yeah. I think you'd be in for a real treat as well on that one. So really, it's a really good show. I do enjoy it. I was bummed that it wasn't performing the day I went. And I think it was probably because of the rain. I don't know. But it sucked. I was like, man, I wanted to see the show. But again, sometimes you don't get to do everything you want to do when you when you go to Disneyland, or you do certain things like that. But it was fine. But next time I go, I'm definitely going to be watching that show 100%. And Walker Lee says, thoughts on the new SpongeBob movie trailer? If you're talking about, like, the recent trailer that came out, I haven't seen it. Or unless you're talking about, like, the first trailer that came out, or the first teaser, I guess. It looks like an interesting movie. They do have a little bit of Camp Coral in it. We see him at a camp, and we see him as his younger self, and he misses Gary again, which is interesting. I don't know why that snail keeps getting away, but again, like I've said this in another stream, but the fact that SpongeBob is actually gambling in this movie is hilarious. It is so funny. But yeah, if they recently came out with another trailer within the past month or week or whatever, I haven't seen it yet. Um, Ryan Treasure says, "Have you ever been on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? I'm definitely looking forward to going on it." Yes, that's one of my favorite rides. It's bizarre, definitely, but it's well not too bizarre, but it's one of my favorite rides. I've always loved it ever since I was a kid, and I always every time I go to Disneyland, I always got to get on that ride. Another ride that I always got to get on is Roger Rabbit's Card Spin. I think that's what it's called. It's past Fantasyland. It's down in Toontown. That's also one of my favorite rides as well, and definitely try to get on that one too. And Miss Northwestern Railway 66 says, last question. You ever randomly watch old commercials uh, from your childhood and go, God damn, I'm old? Yeah, the way like sometimes I see some of like the old commercials or even like some old news stories from like say 2006 or something, and I take a look at how the quality of the footage is, and I'm like, damn, it was that long ago. It was like what? Like it's funny because like when you're a kid, you take a look at the quality back then, and you think, oh yeah, that's good quality because that was what it was at the time. That was the highest quality. And now you look at it today, and you look back at it, and it's like, was it really that bad? It's so funny. So it's like, yeah. So sometimes I look at some of these commercials, and I'm like, man, jeez, that was a long time ago. Yeah, so that happens sometimes. Walker Lee says, "Man, maybe one day I should go to Disney World. Got me a little interested. You definitely should. It's you def Disney World is not a place that you can only visit once because they got like 4 parks. But if you can only do like 2 parks, then because that's probably the cheaper alternative is to only try to do 2 parks because Disney World can be expensive and Disneyland can be expensive too. So don't try to put holes in your pocket to try to dig into don't dig too deep into your pocket just to but if at any point you do want to try to go to Disney World, I do recommend it. It does get crowded, especially in the summer, so try to go when kids are in school if that possibly helps. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been there in like 10 years, and hopefully I go back sometime this year. I want to go back to Orlando this year, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, like you know, I the parks I would recommend personally for me is Animal Kingdom and well, I would recommend Epcot, but currently Epcot is going through like a major overhaul, so it wouldn't really be the best idea to go to Epcot, but you could still go. Like attractions are still open and everything. But definitely Animal Kingdom. Like it's a beautiful park. Um, is there anything else I want to say? Yeah. I think that's it. And also, they do have 2 water parks over there, which I never been to. But if that's your kind of thing too, try their water parks as well. And last comment, and I think that'll be the last thing I'm gonna say here. Roger Rabbit's cartoon Spin. I'm definitely going to be writing that one too. It's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. So yeah. Honestly, it's kind of nice to be able to give people recommendations on what to do at Disneyland. So, I would continue this conversation, but it is getting late and I haven't eaten dinner yet. So I gotta go. I gotta make me some food because I am hungry and I am still pretty damn tired right now. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. I really do miss streaming with you guys, to be honest, and I'm not just saying that to be, what? Okay, I don't know where I was going with this, but I'm not just saying that, but I really do miss streaming with you guys. Like, it is a lot of fun to be able to talk with you guys and everything and have a chat and whatnot. So it's fun. So hopefully I can do a little bit more with these. And of course, this goes off when I'm about to end the damn stream. But, yeah, I don't know when my next video will come out. Hopefully I can possibly come out with a video next week, maybe, or within the next 2 weeks. And hopefully I can stream within the next 2 weeks too if I don't have a video out. But definitely stay tuned and look out for that. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Hopefully you guys had a good day and a good week so far and everything. And until next time, I will see you guys later. And remember, hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. Peace out. Thanks for watching.